Canto 3, Chapter 29. Today we have text 42. Can you move this? sravanti, sarito, bhītā, notsarpaty, udadhir, yataḥ, agnir, indhe, sa-giribhir, bhūr, na, majjati, yad-bhayāt, sravanti sarito bhītā, notsarpaty udadhir yataḥ, agnir indhe sa-giribhir, bhūr na majjati yad-bhayāt, sravanti sarito bhītā, notsarpaty udadhir yataḥ, agnir indhe sa-giribhir, bhūr na majjati yad-bhayāt. Please chant. notsarpaty udadhir gata, agnir indhe sa-giribhir, bhūr na majjati yad-bhayāt, sravanti sarito bhītā, notsarpaty udadhir yataḥ, agnir indhe sa-giribhir, bhūr na majjati yad-bhayāt, sravanti sarito bhītā, notsarpaty udadhir yataḥ, bhūr na majjati yad-bhayāt, sravanti sarito bhītā, Mataji's. Synonyms. Sravanti, flow. Saritaḥ, rivers. Bhītāḥ, fearful. Na, not. Utsarpati, overflows. Uda-dhiḥ, the ocean. Yataḥ, because of whom. Agniḥ, fire. Indhe, burns. Sa-giribhiḥ, with its mountains. Bhūḥ, the earth. Na, not. Majjati, sinks. Yat, of whom. Bhayāt, out of fear. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charana Ravind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Translation. Out of fear of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the rivers flow, and the ocean never overflows. Out of fear of Him only does fire burn, and does the earth with its mountains not sink in the waters of the universe. Purport. We can understand from the Vedic literature that this universe is half filled with water, on which Garbhodakaśāyī Viṣṇu is lying. From his abdomen, a lotus flower has grown, and within the stem of that lotus flower, all the different planets exist. The material scientist explains that all these different planets are floating because of the law of gravity or some other law. But the actual lawmaker is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When we speak of law, we must understand that there must be a lawmaker. The material scientists can discover laws of nature, but they are unable to recognize the lawmaker. From Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and Bhagavad-gītā, we can know who the lawmaker is. The lawmaker is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is said here that the planets do not sink, since they are floating under the odor or energy of the Supreme Godhead. They do not fall down into the water which covers half the universe. All the planets are heavy with their various mountains, seas, oceans, cities, palaces, and buildings, and yet they are floating. It is understood from this passage that all the other planets that are floating in the air have oceans and mountains similar to those on this planet. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vanchakalpatarubhayascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Hare Krishna. So today is a very auspicious day. It's Yamuna Shashti. It's a festival. It's the day when appearance of river Yamuna or goddess Yamuna is celebrated. In Vrindavan, they have huge festivals on this day. So we will discuss a little bit about glories of Yamuna, and of course it's very much related to this verse also, since it starts with talking about rivers and oceans. So fear is let's discuss fear and the point of lawmaker first, which Srila Prabhupada talks about in the purport, and of course Sukadeva Goswami is speaking here in the Bhagavatam. So where does fear operate? Does fear operate in the spiritual world? So fear mainly operates in the material world. material cosmos. Why? Because people are absorbed in material consciousness. We learn from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Narad Muni is speaking to Vasudeva, and here we hear this very famous verse often quoted. Bhayam dvitiya viniveshyata syad. Ishad apetasya viprayo smritihi. Tan mayayato buddha abhajecam. Bhakti ekayesham guru devatatma. Fear arises when a living entity misidentifies himself as the material body because of absorption in the external illusory energy of the Lord. When the living entity thus turns away from the Supreme Lord, he also forgets his own constitutional position as a servant of the Lord. This bewildering, fearful condition is affected by the potency for illusion called Maya. Therefore, an intelligent person should engage unflinchingly in the unalloyed devotional service of the Lord, under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, whom he should accept as his worshipable deity and as his very life and soul. So, we may question all these demigods, how Mukunda Datta Prabhu, he was mentioning other day how even the demigods, they have fear, and due to fear they are doing all these services. But if we consider the pure devotees of the Lord, do they also do the service due to fear? He was also talking about spontaneous devotional service. So pure devotees, they are doing service out of love, not out of fear. But unless one becomes a pure devotee, there is certain amount of fear to the degree they are absorbed in material consciousness. But to the degree we are free from material consciousness, to that degree we are fearless. Srila Prabhupada's name, Abhay Charnaravind, is fearless. And we can see in Prabhupada's experiences, dealings with people, there was no fear. But we can see in our own life, maybe we are going through different situations and we fear. Especially most people, they fear death. No one can say they are not afraid of death. Everyone fears death. No one wants to die. So fear is there when we are in material consciousness. But when we have pure consciousness, spiritual consciousness, Krishna consciousness, there is no existence of fear. There is love, Krishna prema. That's what we see in lives of these devotees of Vrindavan. We can see there are so many pastimes. We can remember some pastimes, especially that Lord Krishna performed on river Yamuna, since it's Yamuna's appearance day today. And one example, we may say, okay, these are residents of Vrindavan, what about ordinary people? But we can see Srila Prabhupada is such a recent example, and how he did so many activities. Actually, this experience of Srila Prabhupada that happened here in Los Angeles with Rukmini Dwarkanath, who told him to go to India when things were progressing very nicely here. And Rukmini Dwarkanath told him that you have to go to India. And Srila Prabhupada is saying, no, I don't want to go now. Now things are growing, so why you want me to go to India? He is talking to the deity like this. Can you imagine that? And why? Because he has love, he can talk like that. An ordinary person would try to talk like that, that would look very, very funny. Because there is no relationship, there is no adhikar. In devotional service, in bhakti, we have to have adhikar. Even in ordinary relationships, we can see you cannot joke about someone you don't have a close, friendly relationship with, because they will get offended. But if you have good relationship, you joke about them, they would laugh with you. So, Srila Prabhupada could talk like that because he has that intimate bond with Krishna. And of course, he agreed, okay, you brought me here, now things are progressing, and I want to continue working here, but if that's what you want, okay, I will go. So even in another experience of him, it's when he mentioned that there was a discussion, Srila Prabhupada didn't even want to come to material world. But Krishna told him that no, you have to go, but you just translate these books and everything else will be fine. So even in that, Srila Prabhupada said, so I was defeated, I accepted Krishna's order. So devotees, they do service out of love, not out of fear. We can see Arjuna, he was fearful when he saw the universal form. But Mother Yashoda, she saw universal form. She saw the whole Brahmand in the mouth of Krishna. She wasn't scared, she wasn't fearful. She was wondering, what's happening to my child? What's going on in his mouth? Like, did someone cast a spell or what happened to him? Let me do some ceremony so these kind of things don't happen to my child. That's Mother Yashoda. She never accepted his Supreme Lord. His friends, they would climb on his shoulders, say, you got defeated, come on now, carry me on your back. So it's a different relationship. But here, because where we repose our faith, our trust, we have our trust sold to scientists. And that's why we accept these laws of gravity. How many of us, we studied this law of gravity in school? Yes. How many of us actually accepted? Yes, it's true. We accepted it's true, right? So that's where our faith was. But will we accept it now? So after studying Bhagavatam, one cannot accept the ideas of these scientists because there is no true evidence for that. And it's changing. The scientists also change their theories. But here in Bhagavatam, it's explained, Ananta Shesh, he is actually carrying all the planets on his hood. And that's how they are being maintained in their positions. Now we can remember the pastime of Lord Varaha, how he had to take the earth out of the ocean. She fell down because of the demoniac activities of Hiranyaksha, who was trying to. So Lord put her in her position again in the orbit. So we can study these historical incidents and we can understand how actually all these things, there is a system and it's been maintained by the Lord Himself. I remember this example, now the days are slowly starting to get warm. Many people like to go to water. And what's this called? They carry this like a swan boat or something, and they lie in that. I forget the word. It's many people, they go to lakes or rivers, and there is like here these days you can get not a raft. It's like it's actually more fancy. Like some are in. It's like kind of a small boat, but it's made in different shapes, like a swan or duck or different shapes, and people lie down in it and just like relax in the water. So it's like Mahavishnu lying on Anantashesh and relaxing, and there is Goddess Lakshmi massaging his feet. So the people, they like to get that experience. They go to lakes or rivers, or I don't know if they do in the ocean also, but I don't think you can take these kind of small things in the ocean. But I've seen also some places, people do that, and they even take their family, kids, they sit on that thing and they are having their water pastime. But we see how here all the Mahavishnu is lying down and relaxing on the bed of Anantashesh. And he is maintaining all the universes. But as long as we are in ignorance of his position, of his glories, we accept these scientific ideas. There is one example when Srila Prabhupada was here, and Mother Yamuna, she was cooking for him in the kitchen. I don't remember the name of the devotee. There was another devotee who was helping her. So I don't remember the name, but what happened is there was some smoke, some fire in the kitchen, and there was a lot of smoke. So the whole kitchen was filled with smoke. And this one devotee who was assisting, he came out and there was smoke on his face, and he came to Prabhupada. Prabhupada actually noticed, hey, what's going on in the kitchen, and he said, oh, there was some smoke. And so Prabhupada saw him with smoke. This devotee, he actually had faith that the scientists went to the moon, Purushottam, and his face was all covered with smoke. So Srila Prabhupada joked. He said, so you just came back from the moon? And devotee started laughing. So, but this devotee, he was offended by Srila Prabhupada making this, funny comment that did you just come from moon? And he actually left Krishna consciousness. So when we don't understand the position of Acharya and we offend, then we can also go away from devotional service. But Srila Prabhupada, he mentioned about this in the book Easy Journey to Other Planets. I distribute these books, and many people, they just see the cover and they are just so drawn to it. So we can see, like, there are people, even demons, they can develop mystic powers and they do amazing things, but they cannot change the laws of the Lord. We can see here, Lord Krishna, he performed many pastimes on river Yamuna. And that's why it's mentioned, even though Ganga flows out of the feet of Lord Krishna, but still Yamuna is more glorious because he personally performed many pastimes on river Yamuna. We can see just from his birth, his relationship with river Yamuna. Vasudev, he is crossing river Yamuna to take Krishna from Mathura to Gokul, to Nanda Maharaj. And what happens on the way? storm and there is so much water. All the river Yamuna is giving way to Vasudeva. And we can see Ananta Shesh, he is giving cover to him from all the storm and rain. And still, Vasudeva dropped baby Krishna in the water. And it's Rupa Goswami in Yamuna Ashtaka. He glorifies this actually. He says, Lord Krishna, he smeared Yamuna with the dust of his lotus feet. And imagine the anxiety of Vasudeva in this storm. How is he going to find the baby in the big river? He was in great anxiety, but still he found him and he took him to Nanda Maharaj. And then there are other sporting pastimes, water pastimes, boat pastimes. They actually, on this day in Vrindavan, they have boat festivals. They take the deities in the boat on river Yamuna and they do different, the devotees chant and glorify, different things they do on this day. Even ISKCON Vrindavan is doing a boat festival tomorrow, April 4. They are doing a boat festival. And of course, the famous pastime of Rasa Leela happened on the banks of river Yamuna. This one is very nice. Chastises Kaliya serpent. You see, it's very mystical how Kaliya was staying in river Yamuna and how he was asked to leave river Yamuna. But his wives, they were amazed that how this Kaliya, his consciousness is so low. How did he get the mercy of Krishna? Krishna is dancing on his hoods. Balaram, when this pastime happened, Balaram was laughing. All the devotees were in anxiety and Balaram is laughing and he's like, wow, what do you fear? He plays with, this is like a tiny snake. Why do you have to fear Krishna doing this? And it's like for the devotees, it was so much anxiety. Mother Yashoda seeing this, she fainted. She had to brought back to consciousness. So we can see how the devotees who are in this loving, intimate relationship with Krishna, how fear doesn't even get close to them. What to talk about them being fearful. But because there is so intense love, and because of that, they don't see him as Supreme Lord. They don't see his opulences, his powers. So they just see him as like them. Because when there is a Okay, I think I didn't add that. But when Varunadev, he took Nanda Maharaj to under the ocean, and everyone was wondering what happened to Nanda Maharaj. He didn't come back. So Lord Krishna, he went there to Varuna's kingdom and he brought Nanda Maharaj back. But when Nanda Maharaj was there, he saw Varunadev is worshipping Lord Krishna. And even Nanda Maharaj, when he came back, the residents of Vrindavan, Brajvasis, friends of Nanda Maharaj, they were asking him, tell us what happened there. And he told them that this is what happened. So they were like, so your son is Supreme God? They were discussing like this. And they were saying, so we are also your friends. So we should also get something, right? And it's given in Krishna book. We can study this. And so they asked Krishna that, hey, you are also our son. Well, we should also get something. And then Krishna is like, okay, I'll show you something. And then he gives them a vision of Vrindavan. And what was their response? They said, oh, he's just like our Vrindavan. So this was their response. So they're like, we are already in Vrindavan, what are you showing us? So they already have everything they need. And they are like, it's amazing for them. They cannot accept. Krishna is God, he has all these powers. It's hard for them to accept. But you see, if you go to Vaikuntha and you go and talk to Lord Narayan like this, I'm sure like Jay and Vijay and all the other servants, they'll come and talk to you. Hey, what's going on? You can't talk to Narayan like this, like how these Brajavasis talk to Krishna. You cannot say you are just like us. So there is awe and reverence in Vaikunthas, but when we go to Golok Vrindavan, there is no acceptance of Krishna's opulences, his supreme powers, because of the overpowering influence of Yoga Maya. The Yoga Maya makes them forget that he is Supreme Lord. They only relate to Krishna in whatever rasa they have with him. Mother Yashoda only see him as his child. Friends of Krishna, they only see him as a friend. And whichever respective devotee, whatever relationship they have, they see him only in that way. So what's the relationship with Yamuna? It's described, she is actually an expansion of Vishakha, who is a very close associate of Srimati Radharani. And that's why there was an article by Giriraj Maharaj, and he's giving references, and he was saying in the prayers different glorifications of river Yamuna. Now one of them was like, river Yamuna is like a black mascara on Vrindavan, floating around Gokul. It's like a decoration. It's like a blue lotus flower garland offered to Vrindavan to decorate it for the pastimes of Krishna. But before I go to Rupa Goswami's prayers, this was another pastime where Chiraghat, we actually went there with the Kadam Kanana Swami. Few of us, the brahmacharis from Australia, we went to Vrindavan, and Kadam Kanan Swami, he was taking devotees in a group to different places in Vrindavan. So we went to this place where this pastime happened, where Krishna stole the garments of the gopis, and it's called Chiraghat. And there, Kadam Kanan Maharaj, he led such a powerful kirtan. Those of you who have listened to his kirtans, you know how when he get energized, then kirtan just on a different level. So we had like a really very energetic, surcharged kirtan, and every place he was going, he was describing the pastime, glories of that place. So it was a very amazing experience. But here we can see like there are so many pastimes Krishna performed on the bank of Yamuna, but I don't think I have read any pastime like this performed on river Ganga by Krishna. Now, Srila Prabhupada, he was translating Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. This is a picture from Srila Prabhupada's quarters here at the temple in LA. And we can see he's translating. We still have those books, even the books Srila Prabhupada was referring to for translating Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So, unless we become a pure devotee, we cannot become free from fear. There will be fear. And therefore, we see this is another picture of Srila Prabhupada they're doing the first arati of Krishna Balaram in Vrindavan, establishing ISKCON Vrindavan. Beautiful picture. I think this picture was taken by Mother Vishakha. And I don't know if it was Tamal Krishna Maharaj or one of the gurus was in front of her, and she was like feeling hesitant to touch him because he's a sannyasi. But I heard she gently said in the ear, if you move aside, I will take a picture and the whole world will see it. But if you stay here, only you're gonna see this. So he got the message and he moved, and that's how we have this picture here. So sometimes for devotional service also we have to speak up a little bit like she did. If she didn't, then we wouldn't have this picture of Prabhupada. But again, going back to this past time, we have a few minutes. Okay, I think I didn't get this one. There is another pastime where Lord Balaram, he actually chastises Yamuna because he was performing his pastime and he asked Yamuna to come closer. This is also given in Krishna book or Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, you can read. And she refused to come. And Lord Balaram, he chastised her, like, you are not listening to me, so I will distribute you in so many, I will make so many tributaries out of you. And then, of course, she got scared, and I thought I put this in this presentation, but somehow I missed it. There's a beautiful picture where Mother Yamuna comes and she begs forgiveness. And it's described, if you read the detail, it's described actually. Yamuna, she said, I'm sorry, I thought you are a little bit intoxicated, drinking too much Varuni, and I wasn't sure. And maybe for a moment I forgot your supremacy, so please forgive me. And so there is a very beautiful exchange of, but how there are so many wonderful pastimes associated with river Yamuna. Rupa Goswami, he actually, in Stavamala, he composed this Yamuna Ashtaka. Let's see if I can find this. Somewhere I had it. I don't have it open. Anyway, so he said, in short, he's saying that Yamuna is the daughter of sun god and she is sister of Yamaraj. So he's saying whoever touches the waters of Yamuna, they will become free from sins and fear, because Yamaraj, he does not send his messengers to take those people. So if you have touched the waters of Yamuna, you don't have to fear Yamaraj. But there are so many glories. He actually glorifies river Yamuna, and in essence he is saying that you are so pure. Lord Krishna, you are so dear to Lord Krishna. He performed so many intimate pastimes on your banks. So he is praying to her that may my heart become purified by your remembrance. So on this day we can pray to Mother Yamuna and beg her for purification of our consciousness, so we can become pure devotees and we can participate in Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan. That's what Srila Prabhupada has given us. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Yamuna Jayanti ki jai. Hare Krishna.